got distracted. It's so pretty. Y'all are so talented. Hello.
Hello.
Krellin. Iffy. I've had a monkey wrench. Hello. Grimloss. Good to see you. So good to see y'all. You're so excited. It's so
I'm very excited.
I'm so excited for you.
I'm one of those people that when I get like really excited, I'm just like, I'm gonna just sit very quiet because I'm so excited because I'm exploding.
All the subscription things are very small, so I'm just gonna look at these. I just got new glasses. I still have to stare. It's okay. No, it's okay. I'm just like, oh, it's nice.
There isn't anything. It's Twitch just implemented a new feature. That's why.
Cool.
So nobody has been able to compensate for it yet.
Cool. Hi, Trooper. It's always good to see you. So this will be too. Aw, thanks. Hey, Space Jam. BP Phantom, good to see you. Well, welcome. This is Inklings, where me, Steph, hi, she, her. I will be just drawing and hanging out and chatting with y'all and hanging out with my friend Aria here. It's good to see you. You've come back. I'm very, very excited. Should do introductions or am I going to news, I guess? I'm Stephanie, she, her. You can find me at Sarah for Junkie on the internet. I could draw monsters and things.
Yes, they're very good. I'm always very impressed. And it's very inspiring when I see your monsters. I'm just like, I need to do more of that.
Monsters, your true form.
Yes, yes. Hello, my name is Aria, or Ariana, or Hey You, or whatever you want to call me. Likewise, all pronouns are cool. You can call me Hey You. That's also fine.
That's right.
Banana. That's
Banana?
good. Yeah.
Banana.
You know, plurality of identity. Always shifting. It's good. You can find me on Twitter at Genki Soda. I almost forgot.
At Banana.
At Banana.
At Banana.
That's probably taken. Too bad. Yes, I mostly post about random thoughts. And
Really good random
I shared
thoughts.
some writing the other day. Last night. I made myself a margarita. And then I was like, time to share things that I'm nervous about sharing. Like my writing assignments that I give myself. Anyway, you can check it out.
It's real good.
Yes,
It's
I'm
real
very
good.
excited to be here.
It's real good. So we're getting to some announcements, some news. First off, thank you. Thank you so much. We just had a fundraiser this weekend. 12-hour stream, half marathon to fundraise our space. We overshot with Season Spark. There's a whole thing. But y'all showed up and it was amazing. Thank you so much from the bottom of our hearts. It's so good to just feel the energy and feel reminded that the space is really cool and really important to other people. It's a really good reminder, so thank you. This week at GeekSpaceTV, there will not be a wind down on any of those days. So keep your ear out about the week after. And on Wednesday, there will also not be any Worlds Beyond. However, there will be a fiasco. There's going to be a fiasco. It's a fiasco run by Jackie Dash, our very own Claudia. It's going to be great. It's going to be hilarious. It's going to be amazing. So keep an ear out for the cast announcements. Just follow us on Twitter, so you'll find all the news. And finally, of course, we will have Night Witches. Is it 3 p.m.? 3 p.m. Saturdays. PST. Pacific time. And a non-specific time. Pacific. I had to learn how to say a lot of P words when I split my tongue, so it's fine. Run by our very, very awesome, our very own, one and only Trooper SJP. It's amazing. Night Witches, if you haven't heard, is a RPG based around the Russian fighter pilots. The all-ladies fighter pilot, like, I don't know the word, Squadron. It's amazing. Look it up. It's incredible. And last thing is, thanks again. Thank you so much. Yes, and now we draw.
Now we draw.
What do you like drawing? What is the thing you go to? Like, I like going to wolves every time. Wolves and
I do like wolves. Wolves are one of those things, though, I haven't drawn them enough times to, like, be able to do it without some good reference images. I can kind of do owls okay. I like to draw grumpy owls that play with yo-yos and yell at children to get off their lawn. That's my hobby.
Tootsie Roll owls?
Yes.
And ask you questions that actually have no answer.
No, they're really antisocial owls. They're like, I just want to be here with my yo-yo, go away. And I also like to draw naked people. It's all.
Mm-hmm.
It's really fun. It's very meditative to be like, man, I'm gonna really get to know this person's body like very intensely.
It's true. I'll know all the things.
Yeah, I like to draw flowers. I don't really like still lives that much,
Yeah, no.
but
same.
flowers are usually pretty fun because they're so like wonky. Like they always look really pretty, and then you start to look at them and you're like, wow, man, all your petals are really fucked up. Ugh.
Or what? Yeah, it's weird drawing stems. Like, I'm used to doing bones and stuff and things being in specific places, but stems and plants kind of use a formula to grow, so they don't exactly always wind up looking the same because sometimes the formula's skewed in some weird way or fashion, or you're jumping into the middle of it. And so drawing branches is never just like, I'm gonna draw a branch, right? Like, it doesn't look like that. It's actually like split accordingly and like carries on in very different ways.
Yeah.
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 Hey, Jumping Cactus. Hello, Osborne. It's good to see you.
I don't know. Can you draw naked people while streaming?
I don't know. I actually am not familiar. I drew the behind of a naked guy, so I didn't have like all the scandalous bits.
I believe you can. It just needs to be artistic, not sexualized. Like
Yeah.
that's the wording, is that it needs to not be sexualized. It needs to be artistic.
My freshman year roommate really thought that I was like a porn freak because I had lots of naked pictures of naked people on my computer for drawing practice, and I really had to have a lot of meetings with her to explain that I'm an art major and therefore I need to draw naked people for homework. And I am not watching porn while she is next to me. That's not what's happening. It's a still image, very clearly artistic.
It's also a lot when there's that confusion of what is sexualized and what is simply just a body.
Yes.
Right. Now that's a thing to navigate.
Yeah. I think a lot of people, I don't know, have a
You're
hard time.
missing out when it's missing out if you don't draw still lives. Like, it's really, and not still lives, but like live models. It's real fun.
Oh, it's really fun. Even when the models are really weird. I don't know if I ever told you this, but in my last figure drawing class, there was this one woman that we had as a model for a while. And somehow, no matter where in the room I stood...
You got her butthole every time?
Yes,
Okay,
just
yep.
her... And I was like... I'm gonna get really good at drawing hairy buttholes. It's just... That's what I'm gonna...
It's not an exciting pose to draw. I've gotten stuck with that before, and I'm like, hey, can I move? I had to ask my person, I'm like, I'm not getting anywhere with this. Like, I think I've done all I could possibly do. I think I have studied this fully. Can I get to another angle? Because I'm not really learning anatomy here.
Yeah, my teachers were really strict, and they were just like, no.
Oh, no. Rules lawyers. Ugh.
Yeah, they were just like, then anybody could move to a better place. And
That's
I was
not
just
what
like,
happens.
That's not even what the situation is. Not everybody is just
Do
looking
you want to draw this butthole 20 times?
And then there was a dude, and he was also a pretty good model, but he had a tendency to just, like, lock eyes with somebody and just, like, stare at them the whole time.
Oh, no.
And I was just like, oh, dude, how about no? How about you don't do that?
Yeah, that's so uncomfortable. Because that's... Like, if anybody did that to me, I would just probably do something just dumb to the sketch. Because sometimes those models will come around and look, too. So it's like, if you lock eyes with somebody, I'm like, there's something exciting to happen. That's what I would do. I would just prank. That's how I deal with awkwardness. A punchline.
Yeah, that's, I think, a pretty good skill.
What was your favorite kind of art thing that you learned or experienced in art school? Or, like, majoring in art, right? You majored in art?
So I really like woodblock printmaking. That's mostly what I do, but it means I don't do it that often because
Setup is hard.
Setup is hard, and I don't have access to a press, and I haven't really gotten the, like, Baron system down very well. So, like, I can do it, but I don't really weigh enough to get enough pressure to actually transfer the ink. And if you push too hard on woodblock boards, you'll create, like, a divot. It's really like you only need a tiny bit of pressure to create a change in the surface of the wood that will permanently show up on your prints, and it's
Yeah, it's kind of similar to like
frustrating.
sculpting and carving, right? Because you
Yeah.
don't want to over detail it at all as well. Like that depth matters, but also like not overdoing it is really important.
Yeah, and just like if you even just like take your finger and you push really hard down on the wood, you can make a mark that'll show up on the print.
Is it so? I haven't done wood block printing. I did like stamp making and print as a general like course. Like what goes into like the wood block? Like what kind of wood? Like how's the process?
You can use pretty much any kind of wood, but you want something that's not super soft. You wouldn't use like balsa because that won't be able to stand up through going through a press too many times. And you don't want to use something that's like super hard, like mahogany, because that'll break your tools.
Mahogany.
So a lot of pine and a lot of like cherry. Cherry is the best, but it's also the most expensive.
Of course.
Um,
I mean, I buy those dice boxes. I know how expensive cherry is.
yeah. And you can get like really high quality handmade cherry planks in Japan where like they'll select slices of wood and put it together, but that's a slightly different there are like tons of different techniques you can do. But generally speaking, it's a reductive process because everything you carve away will not have ink. So you have to think in reverse. So instead of drawing the lines, I would be sort of carving out the negative space. And if you're going to do multiple colors, there's a lot to think about too. And it's all around like a pretty fun art. I really like having to think in that way because it is such a challenge.
It's like a puzzle while doing art at the same time.
Yeah. And yeah, there are lots of different techniques you can do, different types of inks. You can do like oil-based or watercolor inks. Yeah. And they'll give
water-based things,
different effects. A lot of people really like the Japanese ukiyo-e, but some things to know about that is that none of those prints were done by one person. They were usually done by like the artist whose name is on it, like Hokusai or something. They actually usually just did a watercolor sketch of the image and then gave it to a team of like 40 people.
Oh!
Who would then have to like, certain people would be the ones who would carve like the specific colors, and other people would be the people who did the inking, and then other people would sort of make the registration.
So it's a whole ordeal.
Yeah. So
that's fascinating.
People are often just like, oh, why don't you do the ukiyo-e style? And I'm like, because I don't have that much money, basically. It's very expensive art to produce.
Yeah, wow. I did not know that. That's really cool.
Well, that's why there was like this, during the mid-Meiji period, there was the Shin Hanga, which is like new printmaking techniques, which were like, oh, that's elitist and stupid. So we're just going to go like into the woods and like carve up our own stuff and just like make ink from whatever you can find. And it was this big revolution. And that's why also during like World War II, both in Europe and Japan, there was this explosion of this really expressive, really free-form, non-elitist printmaking. It's great. Anyway, I love art. I love art history. It's great.
Oh, I once drew a model. It was her first time modeling, and I think she realized the angle pose she chose was very compromising from my angle. So she came over and to save face asked for my drawing. I'm not phased by human form easily, but I gave the drawing to her. Yeah. I think I remember reading. I followed Rebecca Sugar way back in college when she was still like doing art school and a bunch of her little comics. I've actually found her on DeviantArt. She did this amazing fan art of Link eating real hearts, which I like absolutely adored and loved because it's amazing. But she's talking about how in it's similar, like life drawing isn't always like this awkwardness. Like you eventually just get used to looking at people, and sometimes this weird shit happens. Like you just get stuck with the butthole like 5 times or something. But she definitely got a model. It was this dude. He's like, he was kind of pretty, and then he definitely was like flagpole in the middle of the session, and I'm like, oh boy, that sucks. So like, I mean, you laugh about it after, I think. At the time, it's probably like everything else terrible, but
Yes.
there are fun stories.
Luckily, I've never had that happen.
Yeah, me neither. Me neither. We also had like a lot of our models were also just students who got paid. Like we just were like, oh yeah, sure, I'll totally do modeling. Like pretty lot of performance students, or just anybody who just like you could like sign up and they would pay you per like class and session. So it was actually pretty cool. Last time I did any figure drawing was over out in Gage, and that was really rad. This is amazing, like this amazing model with like humongous dreads and these 2 snakes that were tattooed around her arms, and, like all the way down her body. And I was like, that's really cool. Can I keep drawing you? It was really fun. They had like this whole weekend where you could just go in and just do drawings and jump in and out of like workshops. It was really cool.
Nice.
I actually miss live modeling. It's been a while.
Yeah. There's some like groups that do it in Seattle, but they're often really expensive. I miss when I lived in Boston. It was always just like somebody found an empty warehouse and they were like, "Yo, come down here at 7."
$10 or something.
Yeah,
right?
$10.
$10.
And
Yeah.
And then you'd get there and they'd be like, "Oh, the model didn't show. Anyone want to get naked?" And then somebody would.
Exactly. It all works out. There were a few that were running out of a gallery out here in Seattle as well. You could just like drop in with like $5 or $10, and then it would just kind of depend, because sometimes depending on which week of the month it was, it would either be like super fast gesture drawing, or eventually like that were like 20 seconds each, and then would go like for longer and longer and become more studies for like a minute to 5 minutes or something like that. And it was pretty cool. Back at school, I was pretty good at arts, and the teacher put way too much attention to theory versus in Form 1 and 6. Should be change from trying to follow this scoring system. Okay, I was like, I thought we were talking about music, and then I got like confused. The teacher. Yeah. Oh no, that sucks.
That does suck.
It's always hard with teachers. Like, I think with my professors, it was kind of the first class that I took in art. So art is just fart without the F is like the one thing I took away from college. Everyone does it. It's created from deep within. Goes out for others to experience, and some like it, some don't. And one of my first classes was a painting course, like intro to painting. I snuck in as a freshman, and I painted a dragon. And then my professor critiqued it as, dragons are cliche, you shouldn't paint them anymore. And so guess what I did? I kept painting dragons, of course. Of course I kept painting dragons. And so it's really hard sometimes, I think. Teaching is hard, and the teachers are hard, because everyone's experiences are like so infinitely unique. And like not all class systems work, and it just sucks. Dragons are epic, it's true. Also at me. Monsters are me. It's fine.
Yeah,
So
I had a lot of teachers who were very much like, "Oh, you ever draw anime stuff? That means you're a fraud."
Yeah. Or like, and like that, there's like a lot of people like talking about like fan art. They're like, oh, fan art's not, true art or whatever. And it's like, you know what? People do it to relax sometimes. Let people have the thing, as long as they're not redoing it and selling it as their own, and not recognizing it that it's not their own, then that's when it becomes problematic. I think you develop style via studying what you enjoy looking at and what you enjoy seeing. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, how are you supposed to really know?
Yeah,
it gets really hard. And so when, like, a batch of people, it's like you just study, you draw what their style looks like. Same with master painting. So I don't know why people get mad about it.
yeah.
Like in painting and like a lot of art schools, you do master paintings or you study old masters, and so what the hell, like, why is that any different, right? This is like this very strange elitist idea of, well, it's not fine art, it's not real art. It's like, we've been doing this for as long as we've been around, so all things are cliche. It's kind of a very dumb, unhelpful critique, or not dumb, sorry, like it's a very unhelpful critique.
Yeah, I mean, copying is one of those things where it's like, it's completely, I mean, tracing something can even have benefit.
Mm-hmm, exactly.
Like, there's a really good book. It's my favorite book for teaching art as well, or just drawing on the right side of the brain. Because even though right brain, left brain is completely not science,
Yeah.
one of their first exercises is to get a viewfinder. So for, like, drawing landscapes and stuff, that helps you find the proportions and put it over your hand, and then, like, trace your hand as you, like, on the viewfinder. with like a dry erase marker kind of thing to practice sort of seeing the ways in which perspective and depth and length get distorted through this really nice grid while you're looking directly at the thing, and then practice with some other tracing techniques, because it's like, this has merit, this helps people in these ways. It's anyway.
Respect your art. Greetings from Argentina. Hello. Thank you for joining us. This is Inklings, our art show on GeekSpaceTV. We are a broadcasting studio out in Seattle. It's great. Like to create safe spaces where people get to geek out, hang out. What? Strix!
No.
Strix! Ah! Woohoo!
Yeah, I'm drawing an owl. I was thinking of you. But this is gonna be a grumpy owl. So.
Oh, aren't owls just always grumpy? Right? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Please don't. Please don't. I know you're made of knives, Strix.
I love this picture of someone holding up this like little figure of an owl, like a tiny little white owl figure, the kinds that were like really popular in like the 60s or something.
Oh yeah, the little porcelain ones. Yeah,
and then this owl is just like looking at it, and it's like
owls are great.
So cute.
They're very cute. There was this really cool raptor rescue out in Santa Barbara while I was there, and they had this adorable little screech owl named Tecolita, which just means small baby owl. She was a little screech owl. I love screech owls. They have like the cutest faces. They're so cute. But Tecolita had been hit by a car, and she was blind in both eyes. But her eyes did the weird thing where they were all like they were just pitch black with glittering stars inside of them. So she just opened her eyes. She was just made of magic. It was so pretty.
Oh, that's.
It was very pretty.
Yeah. I've seen pictures of eyes like that. They're very cool.
How'd you get to the studio? It's so snowy. It is snowy. I walked carefully.
Yeah, there's
and commuted very carefully.
knowing good walking techniques.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta get a little lower. Don't split your weight.
And then you definitely stomp like this. Don't push.
Yeah,
you
don't
can't push too hard.
But also don't split your weight. That's the thing that most people slip on. Where like you just really split your weight between your 2 feet, and so you do the like I'm slightly falling forward every time I step, like normal walking, and that's you're gonna slip. You gotta keep your weight on your back foot, and then put your front foot down, and then slowly transfer it. That's how you don't slip.
Yep.
And then you get low, so that if you do start to slip, you just get lower, and you don't fall on your butt.
And you compensate.
Just get lower.
Just get lower. Life advice: get lower.
Yeah.
Is that's
Get
how you
low.
survive everything?
Yeah.
Survival.
How all my problems. Also, when I get excited, I tend to go.
No snow walk. Penguin waddle, yes.
Yeah, penguin waddle's also really good.
Hey, wagon man, I liked your drawing. It was really cool. A lot of questions. I still have a lot of questions. Day 5. Oh my gosh. Roller derby, you get low and pick a cheek. Yeah, I would get completely murdered in derby. Snow kitty? Oh, did you find the squish beans? The squish beans in the snow? One of my favorite like animal photos in snow was like the dog prints that were just like a definite nope. I was like, oh, snow. Nope, going back inside. No, thank you.
I've only had dogs that were like, snow, yes please.
Yes, please.
I'm never coming inside.
So with reference wolf, without reference wolf, with wolf. This is more of a fox. This face is a fox, but it's okay. Wolves have this kind of flat forehead that actually goes like that. That's not there, but it's fine. Proving a point.
I don't have any pictures of owls. I have a picture of an eagle that I'm kind of looking at to be like, what do wings look like?
Yeah, an owl wing's very, very different.
Yeah.
I had to learn how to draw feathers. I used to just draw, and then I realized, oh, I should actually be. Feathers are, I discovered, are in more groups. Kind of draw them in like large swathing sections, and they're like slowly divided. Isn't just simply just primaries and second. Oh, I mean it's primary, secondaries, but then knowing like the proportions of each bit, depending on what's actually like what this bird is doing with its wings, is like. The combinations are infinite, is what I'm trying to say.
Yes.
let's see, where is this eye gonna go? I think it's gonna go here. I could be wrong, but it's fine. Also hard doing this in a mirror, but I wanted it to be close enough to the original. They actually have really human eyes. That's actually creepy. Not creepy. Cool? Cool, yes. So we're gonna do that. I like drawing wolf brows because they're super intense. And it's a really nice kind of beast shape that I go for every time. Wolves. Oh, wolves. Yes. I don't know. They are the perfect reference for a lot of just mythical creatures, and they're very, for me, read very well as beast-like. They're also fun to build dragons off of. I think people, like, I used to do dragons as very lizardy for a while, and then I realized I could make wolves very dragony. And kind of very similar to Haku, right? But the way this, like, that they're just, it's the length of their snouts, the way their teeth are arranged that I find fascinating. Tigers and big cats tend to have this shorter, more compact snouts that I just don't have this affinity to. They're really fun to make expressions out of, for sure. But the beasts that I enjoy drawing are always very wolf-like, and with just feelings and monsters. Like the way things grip me is just very much like having my arm stuck in a wolf's mouth of what I would imagine it to be. So I think a lot of that feeling and imagery just kind of cross over a ton.
I can definitely relate to that. Sometimes when I like feel like there's things I want to say, but I don't feel like I can. When there's like a lot of emotion, I often feel like it feels like a wolf is in me biting on my throat.
And also, like, I also follow a ton of artists that also do the very same thing. Like, do these very like immense wolfish maws representing a lot of feelings or monsters, and it's always just like, oh, good, I'm not alone. It's sort of this. It's also kind of like this. It's like, in a way like kind of a mythology that's kind of accepted too. I feel it's for a lot of artists where like this is just the go-to way of expressing a certain kind of feeling that is easily related. I guess it's like the secret communication. Wings from eagles. Eagles roll around in the snow during the -5 snow. Okay, yeah, no, dogs are just, they're all just good. Hi, hello. I think that's my dog voice. Hi, hello, I'm here. Is that for me? I get a treat? Is this mine? Oh no, Osborne. That's, oh gosh. I find fireworks fun, but also like when we do like firecrackers in the streets, it scares the living shit out of me. It's the sound. I don't do well with like all that sound. One time years ago, it froze during New Year's Eve. Dumb me threw a firecracker against a pole so that it returned straight to me and landed at between my feet.
No.
Super slippery, could not escape. Coat smoldered for minutes after that. Yikes. Oh, I'm glad you're okay. Big wolf energy. Yes, big wolf energy. Co-ed style roller derby. That's interesting. Bay Area Bombers. And my heroine was the amazing fiery Anne Calvello. Started skating in 1948 and skated for 7 decades? Her last match was in 2001? That's amazing. Pocket dragons. Oh, used for avatars. That's very cool. Have very short snouts. I think dragons look better with long dog wolf-like snouts. They're just fun. They're just so fun. I cannot lie, Krellin. Cannot lie. Love those long snoots. Big snoots. It's like the archetypal energy of wolves. I think so. I think it's like what I think it grows out of the werewolf, I think. I think that story in and around my generation was very different because we had, I don't know if the young adult like Silver Kiss, Blood and Chocolate books, like when those were made and when those were written and how other generations related to literature like that, but it was very romanticized or sought after or made to be relatable. And so it kind of, like, I found something that I latched onto, and it was the supernatural. It was the wolf vampires, and then in the end, wolves and beastly things. But werewolves were always fascinating, I think. And I think the wolf archetype, right? I mean, we have the big bad wolf, we have Fenrir, we have a lot of stories around them. A lot of the times they're there to be cunning and tricky with people, or they'll help you, like they'll help guided souls. They'll help, like, I think there are old myths about the wolves in Japan, like their spirits were either gonna maybe eat you and kill you, or they would actually aid and guide travelers. But it was also always kind of dicey. How young did the wolf thing start? I think wolves were more recent. I always drew monsters, though. I remember drawing griffins and dragons when I was a kid. Always dragons. Always so many dragons. So it started with dragons. Steph's archetype of a wolf is... Oh, yeah. I think... So we had my friends and I have, like, made up these stories about... Part of it's like the Wolf Queen in Hell that I told in Tilt Brush a long time ago, and the ideas of a crows and the crow shaman's brother crow. Like my friends posted a lot of really cool stuff about, like, I think Thanksgiving, it was like Brother Crow and the Turkey Witch. And crows are the ones, and this is also like borrowed from other mythologies as well. Crows are the spirits that help the living converse and talk to the dead. Or actually, no, sorry, wrong way around. The wolves are the spirits that only lead the living into death, but never the other way around. Crows are the ones that guide secrets, and they can choose to let things be buried and forgotten or let them loose upon the world. And so, to me, wolves kind of follow in that sense of there's a spiritual guidance, maybe, but not in the idea of, like, spirit animal, more of like what the heartbeat of the universe is, if that makes sense. Intelligible alpha universe, yes, it's like primal energy, and it's less with crows. Crows to me feed a very knowing, they play trickster and cunning and secrets. Softening your own dragon. I've tried the Twitch. Just catching up on chat, guys. What is the wing of the owl beckoning towards? Or is there going to be a yo-yo?
It's gonna be a yo-yo.
Oh, there's a yo-yo. Cool.
It's a
There's
yo-yo.
a yo-yo. It's a yo-yo. It's right there. Yeah, so there's a story of King Crow, right? So King Crow was this Deus Ex Machina, like, kind of story that we built for our friend's kid, and she would help you and out of any situation as long as you traded her treasure. She loves treasure, and so she would offer her service in exchange for treasure. And so one of the things that she valued the most was one that I added. It was the Crown of Stars, and it allowed her to watch over you. It allowed her to watch over the world, and so at night, the blackness in the sky is King Crow, and even when the sun is out, the stars are still there, so she actually can see you. And I thought that was always a very cool thing, and I want her tattooed on my back. So, next question. I miss mythology talk with Strix. It's real fun. We still need the knifey round table, right? I think that was, I forget what the name of it was. It's pretty much people sitting around a table with knives talking about cool stuff, I think.
It's like a great time.
Yeah, it's great. It's always these questions like, why do you carry a knife? I'm like, well, protection makes me feel safer, and also I just like knives. Also, the world is unkind to me, so I bare my teeth when necessary. Also just freaks people out sometimes. I'm like, oh, yeah, like this knife? Like, meh. I don't use it to threaten, because you should never, ever threaten people with sharp objects or weapons, because that is uncool. Don't ever do that. That's not what they're for. They are tools, but respect them. Knife round table.
It's also just really easy to slip. like with a knife. You
Yes,
shouldn't-
don't do it. Like, just, yeah, no. You just get a little blood on you, and then that knife's gonna cut you too. It sucks. Don't do that. So this is where I'm just gonna, oops, oh yes. That's where the rest of that would be. I also freaking love this brush pen.
Yeah, I love brush pens too.
It's so good. King Arthur and the Knives of the Round Table. Queen Arthur, yes. Let's see. That ear belongs there, but that's fine. Here's just the example in which what drawing in pen makes me do, I don't care that there's a line there. It's kind of freeing and it's nice. It took a very long time to be okay with it. Just be okay with things. I recommend it, absolutely. Like it's any new medium is always going to be challenging, but it's always worth just finding something to practice and like keeping the goal not be making a perfect picture, but to try something new, to feel it, and to not fight against it. Like, it's the thing with these tools that if you're fighting against it, then you're not harnessing the energy correctly. You always figure out, like, kind of what works. And part of it is, like, figuring out what works, right? You sketch something, you're like, okay, well, I can't, this thing doesn't look right, so maybe I can sketch it a different way and figure it out. And that's kind of how I approach a lot of, like, digital tools even. I'll sit there and just scribble lines for a while and practice and just, like, see what I can do with it, and that's kind of why practicing with reference is also nice. I don't have to figure out what the fur has to look like. I have the fur here. Now what matters is that I just sort of I just see how different ways of interpreting the shapes or this idea. So reference is important. You should always go back to reference sometimes. You don't need reference for everything. It's not, I mean, if you want to, that's great. I mean, it's kind of part of your own workflow and your own, it's a choice for sure. But sometimes when I'm just like, I don't know what I should draw, I'm out of ideas, I don't really have a feeling that I want to do anything, it'll either be a wolf or I'll find reference for something that I've not drawn before or want to practice. And I try it out. And it sucks for a while. It sucks for a while. You only threaten with a knife if you fully intend to back up that threat. Yes, the threat itself is the last attempt to get an aggressor to withdraw. Just like in the wild.
Yeah.
Dexys has open carry for swords. Not surprising. Not surprising. Hi, William. Been lurking for a few minutes. I overslept. Hope it was restful. Sometimes when I oversleep, it's nice. Sometimes if I do, it's not always nice. But welcome. Thank you for joining. Currently, we're just kind of doodling, talking about things that we like, kind of old experiences via some art school things, some drawing things, some technique things.
This is what owls look like, because I'm not drawing this with a reference. This is what they look like in my head.
Intense brows. I like the intense brows.
Intense brows. They're just angry old men who are just like, get off my lawn.
Get off my lawn.
That's I don't know why. That's how they are in my head.
Also, it was a really cool, it was like a game designer who was looking for artists for their Kickstarter. And I was like, oh, cool, I'll totally just like post that. And someone mentioned werewolves, and I'm like, excuse me, yes. So I bombarded a lot of werewolves. Just a lot of wolves. I'm like, hey, you want some good wolf monsters and werewolf games? Then yeah. I think it's called Bite Me. It's like a werewolf RPG powered by the apocalypse. I believe it'll be kickstarted soon in February, so keep an ear out. Pretty excited. It's a pretty cool concept. Also powered by the apocalypse is ridiculous. It's just ridiculously versatile. It's amazing.
Can I borrow the Sharpie?
Yes, please. This is a nice sharp one. It's a sharp Sharpie.
Yes.
So wolf faces, the shape that I really enjoy the most is this one. That looked really control and meaningful, but I was hoping that I would not overshoot, by the way. I just like to explain the feelings that kind of go through my mind now. It's kind of interesting and fascinating.
Here's my owl.
Wolves have these really nice triangular shapes, and there's like a second diamond that's here that creates their bibs. I call them bibs. They're not actually bibs, but they're fur bibs to me. So my cat has one. And just gonna do that. So with reference, I learned that wolf faces are way more angular than this one. This is a very fox face. Is that owl walking the dog?
Yes.
Sure, yes. It's trying to get it into a leash. Or you walk the dog.
It is also supposed to be sitting on something. There you go. There's
Get
a
off
reason.
my lawn. Grumpy owl is the new grumpy cat.
Nice.
Are you going to do more games works in the future? I would like to. Yes, this year is a year of collaboration, be it more gameplay or designing and drawing stuff for RPGs is what I would really, really like. Or it's like talk with my cool friends about games and just like, you know, talking design. I don't know if I'd be into design. I'll see. That's not out of reach because I'm very fascinated by game mechanics right now. Like I just did my first read through of Blades in the Dark and it seems really cool. But also that rules book is written really well, surprisingly well and well facilitating. Talks about it talks a lot of the how-tos that I find myself agreeing with after having GM'd, like how to talk to your players, how to make, like how to develop the skills necessary to accommodate different types of people and tell different stories and different ways of just doing things. It was actually really, really cool. Super awesome. Definitely read it, pick it up. And also the hands-on, just the lore that's included, just like, oh, totally my jam. Leviathans. So cool. The commission is leading towards game art. Can we talk about the art of Lisa? Because it's amazing. Lisa! Have I seen Lisa? I don't know. I'm going to look that up for a second because I might know what it is, but I'm bad at remembering names.
Yeah.
My job has made me very, very bad at names.
Coffee wizard job?
Mm-hmm.
Because you just hear so many names all day?
Yeah, and it just, no, yep, no.
That makes
Lisa
sense.
the Painful. Wow, these are like little 8-bit horror things. Oh, this is really cool. Is it 8-bit horror? I can't tell. This cover is really nice. This is...
Oh, nice.
The Painful is the full name. It's more than just literal games rules. Yeah, games are... How do you have fun? Let's check it out. Yeah, this is really... It's impressive. 8-bit is always very impressive. I think...
I don't know what's happening here, but I
What
like
is
it.
this? This is
That's
great!
how I feel getting out of bed in the morning.
But these are also, this is how you get me out of bed. Treats.
Yeah, treats.
This is amazing. How fascinating. The post-apocalyptic role-playing video game developed and published by American indie studio Dingling Productions. The game was written, designed, and composed by Austin Jorgensen and was released for Microsoft Windows. 2014. Man, before I ever knew what indie games were. Man, I came real late into the indie game thing. But it's just been an incredible, incredible ride ever since. It's been amazing. This is stream. That is Bard Armstrong. It's Brad Armstrong. Middle-aged man with a troubled past who journeys through the wasteland of Olathe in search of Buddy, his adopted daughter. Along the way, he's forced to make choices that permanently affect both his own well-being and that of his party members. Darkly comedic writing and soundtrack. Amazing. I love what people can do to push like 8-bit or even just low poly games. It's always just very fascinating. It can get really dark. Cool. Thank you for the warning and thank you for the recommendation as well. Lured out of bed by the promise of tea cakes with butter. There's one problem. The tea cakes are at work. Curses! think there was another. Oh, what's the most recent one about the heart one? Hyper Light Drifter. Nothing's beautiful, and I
It's
think
on my to playlist.
Same. I played a bit of it. It's just super gorgeous, and I think Swords and Sorcery. That's on iOS, I believe. I think it's on Steam. I don't know. It's been. Oh, I think it's on Switch. Maybe it recently got a republished somewhere. But it's a really delightful little 8-bit game with really cool music, and the fighting is really simple and very cool. It's just super cool. Music's really cool. Drunkles, probably drunkly playing games. It's delightful. If anyone, if it weren't for you, Oyaga Man, I would imagine Drunkly would be someone who would have recommended this game to me as well. Other small games, like I like the art in Diablo 3 because small things like that require a lot of very careful choices to make things not muddled. It's the same kind of like, if you look at Dota, they have this really cool. They have a lot of artists that just kind of make stuff that you could buy in their shop, right? And so they have this like really cool manuscript, which I highly recommend. It talks about character design and color choices and how to use that information and all the color theory that goes in there, and how each character will have very specific kind of silhouettes, and how do you break up the silhouettes to make them instantly recognizable, and how to do use tone and saturation and color combinations to make them pop out, right? So when you see them, you're like, I know exactly who that person is. And same in like Diablo 3, it's actually like, it's so shiny, but it's actually really low poly. If you look at all their armor, the armor's just like it's just one face, one or two faces. It's super, super simple, but with tricks of like the image maps that they use on them, it just completely like makes it look way cooler. The materials look believable. It's like you can almost like feel or imagine the fabric and like the armor and weapons and stuff. It's super cool. Steph and Arya, what are your thoughts on artists on special effects makeup design, if any? How do you mean thoughts as artists on special effect? Is it like is it art, or would I understand it, or kind of like how I interpret like what they're doing? I think it's cool, and I think more movies should use like real makeup effects.
Yeah.
Because it shows.
Yeah, I like a lot of sci-fi and horror movies from the 80s because it was before there was like computer graphics to do monsters or special effects. Like one of my favorite movies is called The Gate, and it's about these little kids who find out the gate to hell is underneath their treehouse. But like there are these like demons and stuff that come out, but they're claymation. And
oh yes, I've seen it. Yeah, they run around the house and like catch them. Yeah, I've heard of this.
And definitely I think that I've seen like some people who are sort of popular on Instagram or whatever. Some of my family really is into it, and they've shown me some of these people. I don't pay that much attention to it because I generally am like, oh man, either I'm excited to be putting on makeup for a show, or it's like, this is a frustrating thing I have to do for my job, and I can't just go to work looking like a gremlin without any makeup on, which is unfortunate because I'm just I don't want to look pretty. I want to look grumpy or something. So when I look at makeup artists, I usually am just like, that looks really tiring. That's my biggest thought. But most of the time, I'm just really impressed, especially people who do impersonations. Or some people, I'm like, wow, you really know how to like find the lines in a person's face and then make that on your face, and it's very, very impressive.
I think it's an art that carries a lot of just social weight. I think makeup is just another form of art. It's another tool. The fact that it's on people and affects your appearance affects a lot more than the way a lot of art kind of does. It crosses this line that I think a lot of art doesn't really get to. The tools are incredible. Like, just look up any YouTube videos of just like makeup effects or anything, and it's just magic. To me, it's magic. Like even watch, I don't know, if you don't follow Army of Meat, if you don't follow Kate, she's amazing. You should just follow her. She just has the coolest makeup all the time, and also her wardrobe is always just like so on point. But there's just a lot of technique that I had never thought of until like I started watching videos or listening to people talk about makeup, there's tricks. It's lighting tricks, and a lot of this winds up feeding into things that I had learned about with 3D modeling and like how. So when you 3D model, it's complicated. It's a bunch of layers, especially if you're doing, for example, a person or a character. You start in ZBrush usually, which is a kind of sculpting program that isn't exactly fully 3D because it makes a thing with 3 million polygons, which if you loaded that on a game server would completely crash it, so you can't do that. So what you do is once you've finished it, you have to recreate an outside shell, sort of, that captures the silhouettes that matter, and then bake the shapes. You bake it on, so you kind of like stamp it onto this simplified shell. And this map uses 4 colors to calculate how light is bouncing off of it. That's kind of the best TDLR I can give you about UV maps. It's the map that you see in games when they like, you know, they take apart the models. Like, here's the game file. It's just the flattened, it's like taking a wrapped up Santa Claus candy and then just flattening that out. And that's what a normal map, UV maps are. It's this flattened out thing that's mostly purple with some green, reds, and blue in it. And so what those colors each actually signify to the programs is where the light is going and how it's bending. That's how you get shading. That's how you get the light to like bounce off things properly in a game. And so you can. It's really easy when you're in the sculpting process at the very beginning to just over sculpt stuff. You're just like, I want to do this detail, I want to do pores and blah 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 blah. It doesn't matter because just like miniature painting or even makeup, a lot of what defines the shape even better is actually color and not actually redefining a shape. So that's kind of what I take out of makeup art and like any kind of visual effects or movie effects, monster effects, is that there's these really cool tricks that happen to mimic material and use the combination of shape and painting to make things look more realistic or more intense, I guess. Gate was so good. Gate was so good. Claymation monsters have that nightmarish dream quality. Yes, they are super uncanny valley.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
Also, I just like that movie's just like, the power of love saves everything.
Is that what that was about?
Yeah, like siblings being nice to
I haven't
each
seen
other.
it, so I was like, okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Yes.
Yeah.
The power.
I mean, it's really cute. I like that movie a lot. There's also the, there's this, what is it, like the peanut butter experiment, I think is what it was called. There's this movie I was obsessed with as a little kid that was about this boy who goes on a dare into this, like, abandoned house that had this old couple lived in it, and they died in a fire, and then he sees their ghosts and he gets really like scared, and that makes him lose all his hair for some reason. And then he goes back to them and he's like, yo, you gotta tell me how to fix this. I can't be bald forever, even though he could totally rock it. And they're like, okay, here, you gotta like put all this stuff together and then put on your head, which is like peanut butter and rocks and I don't know, like a bunch of weird things.
I need to say that for an RPG character.
And he just paints it on his head, and then his hair grows back, but then it's magic hair.
Magic hair?
Yeah, and it like grows really fast, and then he's got this evil art teacher, and then the art teacher somehow figures out that if he like kidnaps the kid and drugs him, he can like cut the hair to make
Oh my
magic
God, that's so
paint.
problematic.
yeah, it's very problematic. He like enslaves all of the students in the school. It's really messed up.
Does he make a magic paintbrush out of this kid's hair?
Yeah. So then whenever you're thinking of and you paint it, it becomes that, and then you can go into the painting. And then like one of the kids in his like slave painting factory is like, I'm gonna run away by going into but he picks a painting that's like a snowy mountain to run away.
Why would you do that?
And it's like, you're just gonna die. You're just gonna freeze to death, kid. Anyway, it's a great movie.
One of my favorite terrifying hiking expeditions gone wrong is the Dyatlov Pass. So it happened in the old USSR. A bunch of students from a tech university were going to go and complete their pretty much certification, where they would have. I think the requirements were extreme. You had to like be in an extreme landscape for a certain amount of time with a certain amount of things.
Okay.
And so they go into the Dyatlov Pass, which is an immense mountain in Siberia. It's called Dead Mountain. It's literally called Dead Mountain by the natives there, not because of like this death that's there. It's just nothing grows and nothing lives up there.
Okay.
And so they go there, they make camp. They make one last stop to civilization before they head out. And they head out. They don't show up when they're supposed to at their next camping site, and so they send a search party. And they find their camp. The tent is like perfectly made. Well, actually, no, the tent isn't perfectly made. The tent inside is like pristine. It's like literally just cut out of a, chill night, made tent, about to make food. Everything's in its place, except in the back, it's been cut open from the inside, and they have all fled. As they follow the trail of bodies, like they are all just a mile away from their tent, and nothing winds up making sense because they put together a timeline in which in the middle of a night they concluded that some compelling force made them run out of the tent and scatter, and they just found their bodies scattered about almost a mile away without clothing or with very minimal clothing in the freaking Siberian mountains. Like it's ridiculous and creepy and haunting. A lot of the medical records were super weird. It was like one person suffered immense trauma, but no outside trauma. Like they had trauma within either their skull or their brain, I think.
Yeah.
And so there's this is the JFK assassination conspiracy but for the Soviet Union.
Well, the thing I've read conspiracies that are saying that whatever sonic weapon is being used on the people in the embassy in Cuba, that's giving them all massive brain damage and hearing loss, but there's like no visible signs of trauma, is maybe the same thing that happened
to them. Yeah, because they're always talking about, maybe it was like it was some military testing gone horribly wrong, and it was really cool. Yeah, as Kholat, I think the mountain might have been. And this named Dyatlov Pass after I believe the leader of the expedition. They did write, they had a movie out, but there's also like a book out where this guy actually goes and goes to investigate everything for like an entire year, puts everything down and just goes to investigate this thing. Yeah, it's horrifying, but also like, for me, it's like right on the edge of just like, but it's also interesting and fascinating. And we'll never have the answers.
Yeah, I like stuff where like we're never gonna know. I'm kind of obsessed with that airplane that disappeared, the Malaysian Airlines 370, the one we like still haven't found.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I really want to know what happened.
Yeah. I believe the mountain was called Kholat. I could be wrong. I'm bad at names, but like just look up Dyatlov Pass. It's just so cool. It's just like, the world is terrifying. Also, holy shit, nature. Don't go in the snow mountain painting is what I'm trying to say. You'll die.
Yeah,
you'll die.
And I mean, you should see this movie. I think it's called The Peanut Butter Experiment.
Peanut Butter Experiment.
Yeah.
It's delightful. More wolf reference. I don't know if I really need more snoot detail, but I want some more shading. Those are nice. Those are good feathers.
These are my lazy
Dead Mountain. Yep. In Muncie.
lazy feathers.
Lazy feathers. It's fun.
I don't remember what owls look like, really.
It's okay. I think this is, I can register this as an owl. It must be the eyebrows, the intense eyebrows. Oh yeah, that's fine. I'll just change it. It's fine. Was eaten by the great dragon Sirug?
Well, if I'm gonna die in a horrifying disaster, I guess being sacrificed to a dragon is okay.
Yeah.
I'd be okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't be the worst.
Wouldn't be the worst. Character from Drunkly's Rutama game. This way?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
maybe.
got it pointed at REAA right now.
Okay. How about this? Get off my lawn.
Yeah. Do it. Get the hell off my lawn.
Get the hell off my lawn. Damn kids.
Well, he's playing with the yo-yo.
Yeah,
I didn't
exactly. It's like what I want Owl Dad to look like.
Yeah. I don't know why. I think I came up with this during a very sleep-deprived time in college.
The owl with the yo-yo?
Yeah, I think I was just like, this is what owls do, right?
Yes, they work in mysterious ways. Very mysterious ways. The trick with reference is that even when you know what something looks like,
You're wrong.
you're wrong. Yeah, you're wrong.
Like, I'm
You're
sure
wrong.
this owl here is like 3 or 4 different breeds of owl I've seen before that are put together, and you wouldn't see this pattern of feathers with like the little eye tufts or something, but I have no idea.
It's fine. It's fine. I think it's like the compromise or the decisions you make when you're drawing is like, does this have to be accurate? No, if that's not the goal, don't worry about it. As long as it registers. Like, this wolf did not register as a wolf to me, it registered as a fox. But that's fine. This is the soft head. They have a softer head. Wolves have like a more angular head, while foxes have kind of this nice little forehead. Usually owls, like, not owls, but wolves kind of are this nice, like, shape, right?
Yeah.
Diamonds within another diamond.
I mean, but I also think it really depends on the breed of wolf, because there's like that one.
Gray wolves and Arctic wolves are very different.
Oh yeah, but there's also the one that's from like Afghanistan or something that looks really weird and it's really like flat face. And
Oh, yeah.
I don't remember what country it's from.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if it's actually Afghanistan.
So, like, named wolves, those are fun. They're like weird foxes, I think. They're not actually wolves. I don't know, have you seen a mean fox? We have one in the Washington Zoo. Is it mean wolf? Oops. Like, this is weird.
Oh yeah,
I love these. They're so strange.
fancy legs.
Fancy legs, stockings, like they're wearing stockings. This is ridiculous. Such long legs.
Yeah,
So
the spindly
strange.
one. I'd just be like, boo! If I had those legs, I'd just show them off all the time.
Show them off all the time.
Yeah,
Look
I
at
would
my
just
legs.
Put my leg out all the time. Just be like, hey, how's it going? Not like in a flirtatious way, but in a like respect me way. I have
Respect
leg
me.
power.
Yeah, a show of dominance. I like dragons. I think for me, they symbolize a pursuit too far, a greed of possessions, a desire for power and need to be better, one that leads to a loss of humanity. Fascinating. What is that wolf that is actually a fox? I think it's the main wolf. Yeah. No, it's not a fox or a wolf. It's its own genus. We got a bush dog, giant anteater, crab-eating fox. That's very specific. Types of canines.
Yeah, I want to see this.
Red wolf. Ooh, doggo. Short-eared dog. Hoary fox. Maybe it's one of these. Arctic fox. Saw an Arctic fox in Iceland. It was really, really cool. Raccoon dog. I don't know what you are.
Those are from Japan.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, East Asia, yeah. Tanuki. Despite its peculiar appearance, it is a close relative of true foxes. Not a false fox. Volpini. Is this a... Volpini. Yeah, oh yeah. I was like, is this a Pokemon? It's not, I'm sorry. It's my very, very first inclination. Do not exist for me to actually find your wordplay. Terrible. The spindly one? No, yeah, no. Maned wolves? Foxes are their own thing. Pompous fox. This little shorter dog. Just gonna look through animal references with you guys.
There's like
Dog.
Like I said, there's like a Middle Eastern wolf or fox or something that has the coolest face. It's Mr. Serious face. It's always just like, I want to be able to do the
Judgment
face.
face. Let's see. Middle Eastern fox. Let's start with fox. Bell's fox? No.
Mm-mm.
He's very, very constipated. Not getting what I want from this.
They're definitely a desert one.
Hmm.
Steph, do you want to try the toy?
What toy? This toy?
The dongle toy.
Oh, I'm just using this for reference. Maybe next week.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. We found a way where I can actually
Here
do
next week.
a week after. A week after.
It's fine.
Week after. We found a way to try and get Procreate up, so I'm gonna try and do at least a Procreate episode or two.
Oh, nice.
That should be fun. Yeah, if you're ever like stuck to not have references, where do you normally go?
If I don't have
Yeah,
references,
besides like, you have your go-to things you like drawing, like what do you wind up going, where do you go for inspiration?
if I can't look up things on the internet, I'll often just draw stuff from life. Or I draw creatures because then I can just kind of pull from, like I've drawn the bodies of canines enough times that I'm kind of like, it kind of has this form, and then I can give it like crab claws instead, and like a corgi, but instead of having little stumpy legs, it just has crab claws.
That's amazing.
Because I'm just like, well, I don't really remember what any of these animals look like in their
So
entirety.
you now have claws.
Yeah.
This is beautiful.
Yeah. And then I usually feel bad because I'm like, I've created something terrible and it suffers. And then I'm like, why?
Existential dread. Existential dread. Animals.
Well, I'm just like, I am a monster.
I have made what I am. I am what I've made. I like going to like, I always watch nature shows or something, or put on a movie that's interesting. Thor Ragnarok's probably like one of my favorite ones to run in the background right now. I have a folder where I just throw a bunch of reference photos. It's awful. It's just not actually named or organized very well. I just kind of type things of like artist, source, or whatever, or feelings, or whatever this photo is of, and then I just throw it in a folder in the hopes that at some point, if I'm ever out of ideas, that I will look through it. And yeah, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, because I usually get stuck just looking through the reference folder and then not feeling inspired to draw anything.
That happens a lot.
Yeah, a lot of the ways I break through that is like, you need to draw something today and you need to share it with people. So like for me, doing Patreon has been really nice because then I have a reason to be drawing, even more of a reason to be drawing that is literally outside of me. Like having some outside force be like, you need to draw. I'm like, okay, I'll draw. It's fine.
Yeah, sometimes
Have I drawn Spinneret? Yes, I did. I sketched it. I sketched her, sort of. I don't know if you can see it. Oh, yes, you can. You can when I do this!
Oh, that face is cute.
I love Iffy's. I love Iffy's fan art. It was so good. It's just like that silly glee, and it was perfect. I have not posted the art. Thank you for the reminder. They're curled up in here. They're curled up in there. I'll probably do a post at some point of some of the few monster sketches or animal sketches. Nope, no camera. Anna, can we use the close-up real quick?
Yeah, sorry.
No, you're great. You're great. She's doing great.
Distracted by something weird chat was doing.
She's doing great. I don't know if you can see it. That's the character sheet. Snack! 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 That's my internal voice in all horses that I see, and now all animals.
Now all animals?
Yeah, most animals just want a snack.
Yeah.
Snack.
That's the only reason why they like us. They're just like, oh, this kind of creature gives me food sometimes.
Oh, I won't die today if I beg enough. Snack. Yeah. It was a really fun episode. I'm glad I got to play a monster. It was like transformed. I'm like, well, that's my wheelhouse. What am I gonna do? How am I gonna do this? Snack. Yeah, I'm glad Lauren dug into that. Snack. And now you will all imagine animals saying that just like me. Is it on Patreon? I might post it on Twitter as well. Kind of depends. Both of them are platforms that I share, but Patreon has more of like more sketches, kind of, or immediately. Some things I don't really ever post to Twitter or post later. Spinner. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. No, that works. And one end works. It's a part of a spider, but also that works. Venom's never coming back to bite us. Nope, never. Snack. The idea that Ben is vegan or vegetarian, the suit is hardcore carnivore. Yeah, poor dude. Poor dude. If I look cute, I'll get treats. Every dog ever. It's true.
Yeah.
We bred them that way. Snack. God, it's just all over chat now.
Perfect. I mean, everyone needs to know the truth about dogs.
That they're the best and they're all good.
Yes. That they're all perfect and also they just want snacks. And pets.
Snacks and pets, yeah.
Pets.
Good pets. Please pet. Much pets. I like my cat. My cat loves belly rubs for being so skittish and anxious. She just loves belly rubs. How do you domesticate wolves? Snacks! Make a friend today. Get snacks. I mean, that works with people too, right? This is how friendship happens.
Yes.
That is how friendship happens.
But sometimes the snacks are metaphorical.
For friendship.
Friendship snacks.
Friendship snacks. But don't eat your friends. They're not snacks.
Yeah, your friends are not snacks. I mean, some of them might be, but not for you.
Not for you. They're not for you. Don't eat friends. Friends are not snacks. I have to drag my hand all over that ink. That's fine. Don't worry about it. It's fine. Cats are the best. Cats are cute. Cats are surprisingly emotionally sensitive. I've had bad days, and sometimes my cat will just come over and just sit down next to me, just like, oh, hi, I'm here. What's wrong? Well, they'll just like try and put a paw on you and just stay close. Also, my friend literally has the melancholy cat prince named Dimitri. His title is Melancholy Cat Prince.
That's awesome.
She has the sad, like, little sad, really concerned eyes all the time and loves attention. Very soft meow. It's like he'll just walk by, he'll look at you, he's like, yeah! Like, why'd you walk away without petting me? And it's always the best when you can get head bumps. Head bumps are the best.
Oh, yes, head boops.
Head
boops.
That's
one of my favorite things in life.
It's the bunt of trust.
Yes. Well, I also just, because when I get really excited about people...
You headbutt them?
Well, that's my instinct. It's like when I was talking about on game day when I'm like, I get really competitive, my brain's just like, the next move is to punch them in the face. Well, similarly, when I really like somebody, like a really, romantic friendship, I guess, where it's like non-sexual, but I'm like really like, I love this person so much and they make me so excited and I'm just like super into everything they do. My instinct every time I see them is I just want to take them and headbutt them as hard as I can. And so when cats do it to me, I'm like, yeah, I feel you. Oh, it's great.
Just headbutt them.
Yeah.
I love you so much, ma'am.
Yeah.
So ram my head into you.
Yeah. I don't know why. It's just like, when I get really excited, and I don't mean excited as in like I'm looking forward towards something, but like excited as in like agitated.
Super
and
pumped and
yeah.
pumped and full of adrenaline for happiness.
My body doesn't know what to do, and it's just like the answer is hit things.
It just gets super riled. Is that kind of like the matter? Like
Yeah.
you're just kind of like pumped up and like, everything's turning on the inside.
Yeah, I don't know. There's definitely some crossed wires in my brain. It's like when I see really cute like little birds, all I want to do is put them in my
your
mouth, and I'm just like, oh, I need it in my mouth. I just need it. I'm not gonna hurt it.
How do you feel about peeps?
Peeps? Yeah, I like to nom those, but I only like them when they're stale.
Oh,
I like stale peeps.
you like peeps with integrity?
Yeah.
Some structural integrity
And I
there.
have to go, ah! Yeah. Yeah, sort of like Hercules and Pegasus, definitely. Absolutely. I could relate to that.
Yes, head buns are good.
I don't actually do it, though, because it's not like I want to hurt myself or other people. My masochism is only expressed through being very excited about flossing very aggressively. That's the only time where my body's just like, yeah, feel pain. It's great.
The blood means something's happening.
I love flossing.
I like to microwave peeps a little bit before I eat them. I know I'm a monster. You just like the squish of their marshmallow flesh. I remember my cat was a kitten. She was this small and fit in a Vans shoebox. Just very small and just like super ratty. Now she's just an enormous rag doll. It was not what I imagined my cat to be at 9 years old. Fussy little Krogan. Yes. I love that many of Arya's emotions want to express themselves in physical violence.
Yeah. That's why I really loved Strawberry on Eat, Pray, Kill.
Oh.
I
understand.
I felt a lot of kinship with Marcus during that time. I was just like, yes. Yes.
This is very good.
Which is great because I really viscerally was not my character. Like my character on Eat, Pray, Kill, sometimes my body would just be like wanting to physically reject her, and I'd just be like, so
Your body's like, no.
No, you're not like this at all.
What are you doing? Why?
Also, I'm not that food motivated. Like I forget.
Most of it hurts you.
Yeah, most of it hurts me, but also I forget about it. Most of the time, all I want to do is eat like liquefied food because then I'm like, I don't have to think about it. Chewing is a waste of time.
Chewing's a waste of my time, but muscles.
Yeah, no,
my more important with my muscles.
Yeah, I've had several doctors be like, you need to start chewing gum because your face muscles aren't strong enough because you don't chew food. And I'm like, meh, mashed potatoes are enough. That's all I need to eat.
I can literally just suck them through my teeth. Fuck this shit.
Soup is fine.
It's fine. Soup is delicious. It's all the nutrients boiled down. I don't even have to work for that. It's just there. I mean, it's best when the biggest amount of work is waiting.
Yeah.
Like, it's really easy. I can see why. Like, I love soup. Soup is the best.
I like smoothies. That's the thing I eat the most. I'm like a really picky eater. It's really awful. Like I really want to eat healthy. Also related, sometimes when Charlie's eating lots of vegetables, it makes me really emotional because I'm like, he's taking care of himself and he's just gonna live so long, and I'm just gonna be there with him and look at him take care of himself. It's really weird. I just like start crying because he's like eating spinach. I'm like,
start crying. It's amazing.
I get really emotional at like the weirdest things. Like I can watch like really sad movies and I'm just like, yeah, cool.
Sure.
I mean, we all knew those characters were gonna die from the beginning,
So these stories go. But when it comes to Charlie and spinach,
yeah,
that's a real tearjerker for you.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but anyway, like I want to eat really healthy, but sometimes my brain is just like, no, broccoli is dead to us now. Suddenly, you've loved broccoli. That's all you've eaten for like the last 2 years. Now, no more. You don't get to do it. And currently, I can have peas. My body accepts those.
Oh, this literally just like will just be upset?
Well, you know, peas, I can do it. I can like have lots of them. So I eat like a pound a day almost
of
peas because I need vegetables. And vegetables don't have that many calories. But for like 2 years, it was charred broccoli. That was like the only thing.
Broccoli?
That was like the only thing I could eat.
Why?
I don't know.
The only thing you found delicious, or the only thing that didn't like piss your body off?
Yeah, it was the only thing that like my subconscious would allow me to chew.
Oh.
But otherwise, my brain's just like, no, you don't.
Not worth it. Not worth it. It's not worth working.
But mashed cauliflower is always acceptable.
Oh, so good. My body went orange as death. Oh no! Oh no, that sucks. Surprise food allergies suck, especially something you've had before, and you're like, I've lost something good in my life.
Yeah, that's how I feel about pineapple. I
Aw.
found out a couple years ago I'm allergic to it. Because
Aw.
apparently it's not supposed to make everything taste like metal and like your face get kind of numb.
Oh yeah.
I just thought it was like, oh, it's really acidic or something. It's normal. And then people are like, no, it's not.
It's your body like hurting itself. Oh no, that sucks.
Yeah. Oh yeah. If we're real, I get a lot of fiber. I probably have like 50 grams of fiber a day. It's great.
Wow.
My intestines love me.
The highway of life.
Well, I gotta feed my gut microbiome. Sometimes I think about how hard all those little microbes are working to like support every aspect of my body,
I'm
and
gonna
like,
reward them by making their
Yeah.
lives a little easier, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
yeah.
Support your local biome. Eat fiber today.
What's
Well,
one thing
yeah,
I would want? So many things. It's hard to pick one. If it had to be like a selfish wish, like for me in particular, I really just wish I could shapeshift. I get really sad that I will never know what it's like to catch a frisbee with my mouth, the way a dog will. Like I'm
To use your
genu-
mouth as hands and know what that
yeah,
life is like.
yeah. Like I am really upset about this. I've tried to do it, and it doesn't really work.
In the park or at home?
Both.
Both? Good, okay, good.
And like I'm not a furry, but I like, you know, I sympathize. It's not my thing, but I like get it. And I just would like to legitimately be able to shapeshift into animals.
I mean, I also like I wonder sometimes what it's like to lick your own eyeball. Like I can
Yeah.
just do that because,
Yeah.
but it's not because it's funny, because it's sad because I can't blink,
Yeah.
right?
Though related, I'm very glad I don't have to clean my own body with my tongue.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was looking at my cat and I was like, wow, your life is so awesome. You just lay around. You have to worry about rent. You don't have to worry about food. It's like, actually, no. You have to lick your butthole. That's
yeah,
fine.
Yeah. Not,
Also, we cursed you with a tiny tongue and a big fluffy body.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, nice. I'm glad you understand Kitty Cat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not a lot of people understand that. And I wish I could know what it's like to be a peacock and then just get really excited and spread all my feathers and then shake them at somebody.
Yeah, it's like carrying an immense like net of rattles. And just,
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Like I'm like I want to do that.
So look at me.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm right here. Look at me. Look how sexy I am. Just keep shaking it around. I mean, there's like this funny video of like this male peacock, definitely intentionally showing up to a bunch of female turkeys.
Oh, nice.
And this one male turkey's like, "Hey guys, I'm here." And it's like, "No, I won't stand a chance. You're not even the same species."
Oh,
It's like really
goodness.
tragic. It's so tragic.
I also wish I could know what it's
good
like to
night.
molt.
Shed? Like
Yeah,
shed your skin?
Yeah, yeah.
Ooh.
Or you know, like
I
have
mean, it's
it-
like getting a tattoo,
yeah, yeah.
but it's like your whole body, so that's like the part
Or like
that's
having an
fascinating.
exoskeleton and then
That-
needing
yeah.
to break out of it. I mean, that's cool.
So much
I don't
work.
know. And there's a lot of experiences I won't ever get to have because it can't shapeshift. It's sad. I mean, I can like
know.
simulate it in my brain, but it's not the same thing.
I think, yeah, it would be experiences or seeing the world is like the wish. Would be
Yeah.
the wish.
I mean, obviously flying. Flying is
Oh, God,
really.
yeah, flying's amazing.
I think
That'd be cool.
people can generally relate to that. That's like a very human thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, lots of things. Shape-shifting. That'd be my wish. Yeah.
This is really weird because like I don't have like, maybe like for birthdays, it's like, oh, what do you want to get? I'm like, I don't ever really find myself wanting things. Like, so I think it would be like experiences. It'd be hard to say. That's why that wish is like what one wish you would want. I'm like, I don't know. It's just like experience. Be able to read all the books. I don't know. Like, what would I do with all of that?
Oh yeah, that'd be
Read all
cool
the books in the
power.
world.
Just to be able to like touch a book and
Yeah.
then like read the whole thing just by touching it. That's I think because you can only read so many books in your life. So like I've looked into sort of like my reading speed and on how many books on average I read in a year, and like figured out how many books I probably have left to read in my lifetime unless I really invest in it. It's a very depressing number. I was just like,
Yeah.
there's so many books I want to read.
you won't ever get to, and it's like time and
Yeah.
the age in which we're in is like time is just like not the luxury we have anymore. Like before the rampant technology and the speed of everything going around, like you had the time to read,
Well, even that, like,
right? Or no, like,
just like even when I spend all my time reading, and I'm a pretty fast reader.
yeah,
I'm just like, wow, like I probably am only gonna get, like, if I'm lucky, another 1,000 books in my
yeah,
life.
that's true in a lifetime, yeah.
And it's a disappointing
Mm-hmm.
experience. Just because reading is really cool. But I also like to play video games. And I used to feel really guilty about it. I'm like, oh, I should be reading a book or something. And then I learned that when books became pretty ubiquitous, people were like, oh, everyone's wasting their lives. It's such a useless activity.
Yeah.
And now we're like, books are all classy and stuff. And I'm like, no, it's video games are the same. So I don't feel
Yeah,
guilty
exactly.
playing them.
It's only guilty when it's when other people try to make you feel guilty about it, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be able to read in so many languages. That'd be so cool! It would make your brain feel so weird to know all the languages.
Yeah.
Like, it would make your brain feel really weird.
Sometimes I like not knowing what people are saying. I mean, that's one of my favorite things about not living in the U.S. is because even if I speak the language fairly well, I can still tune it out.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't have to hear people talking about really inane things when I'm, like, trying to enjoy a park. Unlike here where I'm like, oh my goodness, I really just want this person to stop talking about, like, shirt sizing for, like, an hour. Like, I just want to look at the trees. And, you know, if you're in another country...
The only time that I could ever block out English was, like, the one time I got really, really high and English stopped making sense. That was real bad. That made me real... But I also had, like, a huge bout of social anxiety, and that was not great. It was really weird. It's also... It happened once in an extremely crowded bar where the noises became this horrific wave and wall of sound, and I just sat there. I was like, oh, wow, I'm getting swallowed by sound. This is great. And just... It was just noise. It was like the buzzing of bees or like this immense flock of birds. It's just human voices instead. It's crazy. Shirt sizes are important. Streamlabs! Hello!
Can you
Yes.
read that first one? Just for fun?
William TW, thank you for $10.
Thank you.
Bringing us closer to the lofty goal. Hashtag pay Anna too. Thank you. Oh, sorry.
Oh, it's okay.
Thank you so much. The goal is there. Also, thank you everybody who was able to just not only just be able to support us, but just tuned in and just hung out with us. Like that is, it's an immeasurable feeling and a great joy. So thank you so much. So it is 5:30. We'll probably be wrapping in about 15 minutes. If y'all have any questions you'd like to know, drop them in chat. Check them out.
I won't have time to finish my lady holding her boobs.
Y'all can get a closer look if you want. Just put that there.
This is me after I get out of the shower. I usually just sit there in a daze and like hold my boobs in the towel. And I'm just like,
Because boobs are great. They are. Just sit there sometimes. I'm like, huh. Yeah, I sometimes like space out while I'm reading a sentence, which really sucks. I'm just like, oh god, I have to go back and like reread everything. Kind of like, oh, I wasn't like I'd be trying to super hyper focus and read, and then like it would just like kind of just slip through. It's a hard thing. Hashtag boobs are great. Wait, what? If you would totally do the same, hold boobs. they're really calming. You just sit there. Let's do this. When are you putting up new prints on your shop? Thanks for asking, Strix. It's gonna be in March. Detailing what I'm gonna be putting up there on Patreon. You go check it out. There's some old prints coming up and some new stuff that I drew. I've been meaning to look for a good printing place, mainly because Society 6 kind of runs a bit high on just everything's expensive there, and I don't get a really good cut out of it. But so far, it looks like Imprint's a pretty awesome place. So I'm gonna check that out, and I'll be having a shop up pretty soon. You'll get to have. I'll be putting up some older pieces like the Wendigo, as well as the Wolf in Wolf's Clothing, I think is the name of it, as well as the second of that series. I'm planning to have a triptych of that. It's very kind of the exploration of different feelings with this wolf coming out of your skin. So it's kind of my an exploration of coming to terms with myself, kind of. I was talking with a friend of mine, and she was like, I grew up not really finding myself human because I was just a monster. And how that identity feels like now, and it's kind of fascinating, and I felt the same way. I felt pretty weird and very different for a very long time until I moved up to Seattle. And I finally met a bunch of artists and people who were just very similar to me and felt and did a lot of the things that I like related very much to. So and a lot of those drawings are me experiencing that, and a lot of that is with the wolves. For some reason it was wolves. Redbubble, just as you look around. I do like that shirt. I love their clothing though. Like that's the thing, VP. Like the I love the way the fabric feels. If I decided to make my own comic right now, what would it be about? I used to have so many comic book ideas, and right now I don't have any, which is like really weird. It's like a spot in my brain I haven't exercised in a while. And I think that's something that I might explore again, because after GMing, it has been really cool doing narrative stuff. And I don't know if I would write, I think I would want to write a comic and roll dice for it.
That sounds nice.
For some things where I'm like map out a general idea of it, the way I would plan maybe, and then just kind of like, oh, I don't know what happens here, roll dice. And just kind of see what happens. But yeah, it's actually kind of been a thing that I've been thinking about since like, I think the end of last year. It's like, I don't have a comic in mind. I don't have a story that's in my head that I need to get out. So I think that's going to be something I'm going to noodle around with this year, especially with collaboration. It's like, what is important to me? I know what drawings and I know that monsters are, but what is the story that like, what story matters to me right now? I might start from there and then build something out of it. How can I facilitate streaks? Writing a comic is such as art for. I mean, it'll just probably just happen. It's more about us getting time. Gosh.
I'm just saying.
I know.
That's the goal of our nonprofit.
Knife round table, okay?
Alright.
It sucks that I love to write, but I'm still such a slow reader. Yeah. I feel there's not enough. I always feel I don't have enough time. So if I commissioned a piece of art and received a high quality digital image and wanted to get 7 prints of should I go to Society 6 to get the image printed on a nice print, or is there somewhere else? Oh! You can go to other printing services. I go through Adorama for all of my prints, and they're pretty rad. I got this 11 by 17 print of the Dreadwolf that I have for like $3 on really good paper. The silk paper is amazing for black and white, just saying. So Adorama Pix, Ado, sorry. I'm just gonna maybe write Ado, RAMAPIX. And that's where I get my printing done. It's real cheap. Shipping is sometimes more than what I wind up getting my prints for, but that's a good place to do it. Society 6 just puts it up, and I don't like having, like, if it's supposed to be something personal and limited run, I wouldn't put it up on Society 6. If you want, it's more of a market front than it is like a printing service, and I would absolutely go find other printing services to work with. Like, Adorama Pix is a good place to start. They've been great. I also like their paper. There's probably other places that do like Glycee, like quality museum prints. If that's something you're looking for. But I would definitely go to somewhere that just focuses on like photo prints, for sure. Yes, Adorama, and then Pix, Pix. I would love to transcribe any one of the shows from GeekSpaceTV into a comic form. Yeah, seriously. Write an EPK comic, maybe. I definitely, if Orbital Dropkick is at Emerald City, I'm going to go find him and just scream at him out of pure joy. That's going to happen. He's very delightful. I actually talked to him before we started the show in January, like last year, and he's very, he was so excited and delighted that someone was actually like doing a Twitch show of his RPG and comics. So this was like wonderful. I think it's like a type of paper, maybe. A lot of I know a few people who've done some like museum quality paper prints. I think it's to deal with ink and paper. I'm like not really in. Big Orbital to make a spin-off comic from Mario EPK. I think he's a lot on his plate. Shiny Prince. Thank you, Strix. Yes. Shiny Prince. A spin-off comic would be really cool. I love that entire experience. It was very wonderful.
Yeah, it was
It was
amazing.
really cool. I got to watch everybody kind of just grow as players and as characters, and it was just an incredible experience. High-end colors and inks on high-end papers. Also stuff that survives the sun, probably. Yep, there you go. Archival. Things that will last beyond you. Aria, what do you want to dress up as next? Question from Strix.
An anglerfish. No. That's what I wanted Lotus to be like.
Okay, do you know about the Lantern Festival, Luminata, that happens in the Fremont? You walk around Fremont, Green Lake, you make just paper mache lanterns. You can just make paper mache. It's just glue and tissue paper and maybe some bamboo rods and make
Yeah.
an outside skeleton of a fish. And you just hang LEDs off of it.
I need to do that.
Mhm.
When is this?
It's during the solstice or equinox.
Okay.
It's Luminata. Check it out. It's really cool. I made a wolf head once, and I had all these like party like tissue paper like tassels that I just hung off the back of it and just ran around and chased people's lantern because it was like a wolf eating a moon.
Yeah, nice.
And the jaw was like hinged, so if I jumped, it would just snap close.
Oh,
It
that's
was
cool.
really cool. Unintentional. Accidentally, I would kill perhaps even as many as 6 billion demons to see Orbital illustrate Sifa's scene as she tears off her mask. Yes!
Yes.
It's terrifying.
God, what do I want to dress up as next? I don't know. Cat person.
How cat person? Like Cats, the musical Cats, or
Like a Khajiit.
Catch? Oh. Catcha. No, Khajiit.
I wanna like put a prosthetic on my face every time to make my nose and my little mouth, and
Maybe the tabaxi.
yeah, that sounds fun. Ears. I want cat ears.
So one of my favorite cats is the Oriental short hair cat. They look like goblins. I love them. They have these really, really long, human-y snouts and then big ears.
Nice.
They're just really weird looking, but they're like the perfect goblin reference. Oh no, Sal. It's okay, you're back. It's fine. Genki Soda has trinkets if you have coin.
Yes. So I play a lot of Skyrim, and that my character is a Khajiit, and I get really into the role play of like I sneak into people's houses and steal their fish, and then just jump on their dinner table like while they're eating, like people whose houses I'm not supposed to be in, and I try to run away before the city guard comes. It's great. It's most of what I do. Not completing the missions, mostly just figuring out how I can be more of a cat in the game.
Man, like Skyrim sounds really fun, but I like gave away like almost like 150 days in World of Warcraft, so I don't like I can't give that much time to a game again.
Yeah.
Like, I understand the joy of simply jumping onto a table and doing things. Like I will always make campfires in random places and run around Azeroth for no real reason.
Mm-hmm.
Just so that I can lay fish feasts on the other team's houses, like
Yes,
run into
nice.
Stormwind, lay down a bunch of fish feasts on the auction house, and sit there because no one gets to eat it, while the city guard tries to kill me.
I think. Oh, if we're talking about manner of speaking, I would love to play a baby, like an infant. No, I'm kidding.
A 5-year-old.
Yeah.
So you have a reason to say very, very outrageous things and
Yes.
not feel the consequences.
Yes, or like an old man. I'm gonna be a really old man.
I shit myself. Now it's your problem. You deal with it.
Yeah. I used to like to. So, talking about makeup earlier, one thing I used to like to do because I found that I got less harassment was to do makeup effects to make me look much older.
Oh, yeah.
Like most women over 40, this part of their jaw will start to sag a little bit. Like this sort of just starts to loosen. So I would try to like
highlight or something?
Yeah, so I would try to create like a little like line here to kind of make it so it looked like that was happening.
Oh, wow.
And then I would like in these lines here, I would draw them much more, and like these lines here, and then I would draw in like crow's feet and stuff like that, and like darken under my eyes, but then really like make it look really powdery the way a lot of older people's skin looks, and put like liver spots on my face, and it was great.
Eyeliner does amazing things. Like pencil
Yeah.
eyeliner is like really great for flesh details.
Yeah.
37-year-old man practically dead. Well, I play Final Fantasy 14. I have a private room in my free company's manor, which has an RPG table set up because it's so cool. It's so cool. It's why I love WildStar. I made a really cool house, and like I had a cool table underneath a stairwell and a super secret like thief like it was like shadow broker setup underneath, and then the second floor was just my room, and I slept on a pile of gold and all these dead things around me. It was great. And I have my own bar. I fit a bar in this house. It was amazing. And there's like a lot of cool little hacks that you could do. Like you could make a fireplace out of a chimney and stuff, and everything was super fancy. It was very fun. I like that part of WildStar. I just thought, good old games. We're practically dead.
Practically dead.
What kind of games have I been playing? I just dumped 100 hours into Assassin's Creed. Odyssey is interesting. I forgot that gigantic games have immense loading times. That was a very interesting experience. I don't think I ever had funny glitches. I did definitely, I murdered my horse twice. No. Yes. No. Was it twice? I accidentally killed it the first time. I was trying to get this lynx that was attacking us, and instead Phobos, my horse, tried to protect me and got in the way, is what I remember. And then I think the second time I jumped off a cliff. I like had this period of time between Mass Effect 3 and Horizon Zero Dawn where I didn't play games, except for like Diablo 3 maybe. There's nothing that like held my attention or made me like, yes, I want to play this. Not after Mass Effect. I play on a PlayStation 4. I just built my computer, and SSDs are amazing. Overwatch just happens now. It's incredible. God of War and I think Hellblade are two games that I'd be interested in playing. But I haven't found the desire to do that just yet. They should be cheaper. Maybe. I actually don't know. I only got Odyssey because it was like $30. Hitman 2 is really good. Oh, stealth games. Don't think so, maybe? I don't know. I genuinely love murdering my way through Odyssey. So I might be. I might be into stealth games with knives, but not with guns. I don't know. Hitman, you probably can have all sorts of murdering ways. I played Odyssey for 40 hours and stopped doing any side missions. Yeah, they overload you. It feels... Assassin's Creed Odyssey was fun, but it's huge, and they also tend to just kind of overload you with quests. It's kind of ridiculous. Yes, play Hellblade. I know there's a Valravon in it, okay? I know. I saw it, and it's amazing, and I saw the animation reel, and it's so cool. Oh, it's so beautiful. Odyssey looks fun. It is. Play Cassandra, because what better than run around as a giant woman with big dyke energy?
Nice.
Like, literally, that's the reason why I did it. Also, Cassandra's is funnier. You want to see how Rogue Galaxy 2 comes out? Spaceflight Command. Combat in a way that's more arcade-like than most of the others out there. Makes me think of the old Colony Wars game. Interesting. I'm using traditional weapons, and Hitman is it's either the exact wrong way to play. That's fine. Like, I just know that I like murdering people with my hands. If anyone has any recommendations for indie games that will make me cry my heart out, I've heard Transistor is amazing, and I have it on my iPad now, which is amazing. Like, it's super cool. I can play that game there. Monument Valley made me cry.
I like The Long Dark.
Long Dark, yeah.
It's one of my favorite games.
Lady Killer in a Bind is really, really good. Always, always. To be honest, that's the only way I acknowledge playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey. That's why we're friends, Iffy. It's fine. I'm trying to think of other games that made me cry. Mass Effect 3 made me cry. I don't think any other games made me cry on that scale. Horizon Zero Dawn is really lovely. They have indie games.
Did you play Gone Home?
Gone Home.
That made me cry.
Yeah. I know there are. I just haven't, like... I don't remember. Geez, who could possibly have gushed about Transistor to you? Huh. Sword boyfriend. How do I and Sword boyfriend get along? Like, the real one? Or what Remains of Edith Finch is also good.
That is a good game.
I played Gone Home. The Remains of... Yes. There it is. Yes. You guys are all great. Gris is supposed to be some feels. Yeah, it seems very melancholy. It's a very beautiful game. Gris is beautiful. Sword boyfriend doesn't live in the house anymore. That's what happened, Krellin. No, I have a very specific way of murdering people. Okay? Mostly assholes. Just murder all of them. Or like I discovered there's a really funny, just a funny thing in Assassin's Creed. I think the first time I ran into a city, I was like, oh, complete this quest. You have to go confront this man. And if he doesn't listen to you, you have to murder him. Fun fact, you have to murder him anyway. And so I did the thing where I just murdered him in front of everybody in the city and just immediately got 5 bounties and got murdered. So I tried it again. And I lured him outside with his friends and armed myself and just punched him to unconsciousness. And then picked up his body, ran away from his friends, and then dumped him in the bushes and just stabbed him, and nobody came after me. And I learned if you kill people in the bushes outside the city, it's fine. Kill them where nobody sees. Journey, yeah. Oh, Journey was... hard. Oh my gosh, the last level, man. Oh god. That was... I felt the pain in my bones from that game. It was incredible.
If I don't know how to answer your question because I don't know what it means. I don't know what boyfriend dungeon is.
Boyfriend dungeon? Oh. It's where, okay, so these weapons... You can date your weapon, and the weapon actually has human forms, but they also have weapon forms, and you have to take them through dungeons, which is like shopping at the mall. And I think murder things that live there and like monsters in there to level up with them, and you can build relationships.
What kind of weapon then?
So they can be different weapons. Like there's a whole bunch of them with a whole bunch of orientations and different identities and pronouns, and it's really cool. I think one of them was like this. I forget the name of the saber. I know it's a saber, but the specific name of the saber. They have like a dagger. They have a hammer, an axe, and they all do different things. It's a very cute little isometric little game. It's coming out soon. It's dating sim. Is Gone Home the one where
It does sound
they
amazing.
move and they're going through their memories, or no? There's another game that came out recently. I forgot the name of it. It's just 2 kids who've moved away from each other, and they're just you just going through these levels through and it revolves around time and solving puzzles, and it's just I've heard this is very beautiful and very just meditative and calming and very like kind of heart wrenching. I think Lauren played it on her streams. I forgot the name of it. I played it at PAX and it was very delightful.
Gone Home is probably close to 10 years old at this point.
Okay.
And it's
Toolwar, dagger, lightsaber, hammer, glaive, brass knuckles, axe. Yes. I'm gonna look up this game because this game is very pretty and I forgot what it was called. And then we're gonna sign off. Oops, that's not what I meant to pronounce, right? Oops.
When I did martial arts, I was particularly partial to the tonfa. So something like that. I have a lot of good advantages getting real close to the people I'm sparring and being under them, being able to do really good uppercuts. Tonfa make that really effective. Makes it much easier to knock someone out. This is probably what I'd do. I don't have a lot of reach because I'm not very tall, so Tonfa help with that as well. I did train with nunchucks as well, but I never got that good at them. I mean, like, as long as I hit the person, it's fine. But if I'm trying to actually, like, manipulate them, I just hit myself a lot.
Yes, Jir, it's Gardens Between. Gardens Between. It's a very pretty game. It's short. Like, when I played it, I was, like, concerned about, like, the mechanics working in a long-form game. It's a short game. It's incredible.
Yes, Talum was usually who I played in Soul Calibur.
Yes! Oh, good. Tom was... I played with Size once. You learn very quickly how to withdraw your arms perfectly because you just jam yourself in the rib of one of those things and it sucks. Cool. I'm gonna sign off. This is great!
It's daydreaming after the shower.
Daydreaming after the shower. That's beautiful. Thank you for joining us today. I loved all the interactions, all the questions in chat. Hope this was really fun. If you did any drawing with us while you're hanging out, or any drawing during the week, join us on Discord and find the Inklings channel and share your art. I love seeing art. It's really, really cool. It's just really awesome seeing people just do, like, create things or challenge themselves, and, like, it just feels good. It's really cool. So share and chat. Join us on Discord. Give us a follow on Twitter at GeekSpaceTV. I'm Steph, she, her. You can find me at Sourfruit Junkie on the interwebs. Also check out my Patreon at StephMHC. Some cool stuff coming up next month. Yeah.
My name is Aria. You can find me, all pronouns, great. Anything you want, banana's cool too. I'm feeling like a banana recently. I'm just kind of like, I'm not trying that hard to be curled. I'm going to be lazy. Bananas
Whamp.
are very...
I feel bananas like whamp. This is the sounds they make, right?
Yeah,
Whamp.
they're very lazy. Sometimes I look at them and I laugh a lot.
Because they're all lazing together.
Yeah, they're just laying there like, and yeah. Anyway, I have a lot of feelings about bananas. You can find me on Twitter at Genki Soda, where I post lots of random thoughts and sometimes things I make and sometimes pictures I take and sometimes nothing. Sometimes a whole lot of random nonsense.
It's great. It's fun. Sure, it was great.
Yes. Yes.
So thank you for joining me. This is really fun.
I'll write
It's
about
been awesome.
bananas.
Write about bananas, please. Yes, banana facts. Like, each crate of bananas comes with at least one tarantula. So wash your bananas. Have a great evening.